I'm Simone Dorsch and I'm managing the StrokeEd Upper Limb MOOC, and I'm going to run through some of the details to let you know more about how it runs and what content happens in each week. So the MOOC starts on the 2nd of June and runs through to the week of the 30th of June. We will, however, open the content on the Saturday preceding that week, so that if you want to get started on the content over the weekend, you can do that. Every week we'll send you an email letting you know what the tasks are for that week and what the Facebook discussion topics will be. And in week 3 and week 5, on the Wednesday of those weeks, we'll have a live online Q&A session, so we'll send you lots of information about that. So the MOOC consists of the learning content that you have on a LearnDash site, and once that's open, you'll have the links to access all of that. And when you're in that site, you'll see that there's recorded lectures, there's recorded sessions with us working with stroke survivors, and there's quite a lot of quizzes as well to do to check your learning. And then in addition to that, for interaction, we have the Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, it's well worth joining that group, because we'll have some discussion topics each week on the Facebook group. If you're not part of Facebook, then that's fine, but it just means that you miss some of that interaction. I'll run through what happens week by week now to give you an idea of the week by week content. So week 1 is by way of being an introductory week. So for some people it might be revision, but it'll kind of get you back on top of things like what's all the terminology around biomechanics, what are the definitions of those kind of biomechanical terms, a revision of upper limb anatomy, a review of impairments after stroke, and looking at what the evidence tells us about the contribution of impairments to activity limitations after stroke, and starting to talk through, using that information, what our clinical reasoning process needs to be when we're assessing stroke survivors' upper limb problems. Week 2 is a big focus on analysis, and so we look at the biomechanics of normal upper limb tasks, and then think about how we use that information to inform our movement analysis of stroke survivors. And then we have videos of Carl and Annie working with stroke survivors, so some very detailed assessment videos there. One with a stroke survivor who has very extreme weakness of her affected arm, and one with a stroke survivor who can do quite a lot with her affected arm but still has some very significant activity limitations. Week 3, we start really getting into the evidence for intervention. And so we start off with a review of how you appraise the research that you're looking at, and then we look at the research for increasing strength in very weak muscles after stroke, and look at applying that information to stroke survivors. In week 4, then a review of the evidence for more task-specific training, so the training of activities after stroke, and with some particular emphasis on particular advanced coordination skills like handwriting, the use of knives for cutting, and knife and fork cutlery as well. In week 4, we also have information on the secondary impairments after stroke, and a review of what the evidence tells us we can do for swelling after stroke, shoulder pain after stroke, spasticity after stroke, and how we use that evidence to inform our interventions. Week 5, then, the last week, is a focus on how we optimize the conditions that we set up for people's practice after stroke. What are the strategies we can put in place to increase the amounts and the intensity of practice that people are doing? What are the strategies that we can use to make sure that we're doing very good coaching when we work with stroke survivors? What do we do to make sure that our instructions and our feedback is very effective and really helps to optimize people's motor learning? So that's the focus of week 5, along with a discussions around how we change our clinical practice when there's new evidence, and how we change what we're doing to adopt that and implement that evidence. And then at the end of all of that, we ask you to evaluate the MOOC. You redo the same quiz that you did at the beginning of the MOOC to assess your learning. You get a certificate of completion at the end of the MOOC once you achieve 80% on that last quiz, but you can take the quiz as many times as you like. And a reminder again that in week 3 and in week 5, in that last week, we've got the live online Q&A sessions. So that's a summary of the MOOC, and we're really looking forward to interacting with you on what is our second upper limb MOOC now, and we'll be seeing you soon.